You ready?
No shit, that's you.
Hey, 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 yeah, hey. Let's chop it up. Let's chop it. Let's chop it up. Let's chop it. Yeah, let's chop it up. Let's chop it up.
All right, this is Let's Chop It Up with Zaz, and today we got a special guest, the legend, man. To me, the legend, DJ Doo Wop. What's going on, brother?
What's up, Zaz? How you, man?
Chilling, man. Chilling, brother. Chilling, man. So grateful to have you here today with us, man.
Great to be here, brother. You know, I was gonna keep my word.
Definitely, man. And you've been around forever, man. You've touched, you helped a lot of people's careers, man. How's DJ Doo Wop doing nowadays, man?
Pretty good, man. I'm blessed. You know, glad to still be here. Glad to still have that fire, within me to keep pursuing the music, keep coming up with creative ideas. That's just, the creativity is one thing that I built my whole career on. I think, you know what I mean? Like, I always tried to do something a little bit out the box. And just to be able to have people like you and people that still follow, of course, now with social media, that's a big boost for us, because now people that the only way they could find us back in the days was if we put out a new tape. Now they could follow us and see what we're doing, in real time. So
yeah, definitely, man. That's definitely a blessing, man.
Definitely appreciate all of that.
Yeah, man. So, like I said, man, you put me through high school with the mixtapes. And it was the most amazing thing in the world, man, to get that mixtape in your hand. I used to get it from 555 Soul. 555 Soul on Lilo Street. They used to have your tapes in there. And Bates.
You from down Lower East Side?
Yeah, I'm from New York. You know what I'm saying? I was there till I was 22 years old. Then now I'm in Philly.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I'm out here now, doing my thing out here. So, just hanging in there.
That's
you know what I'm saying? But tell me, what, like you're like a whole different world, man, when it comes to DJing. To me, I think that you took DJing and you took it to like the highest levels. And Doo Wop, man, I gotta say, man, you by far the greatest DJ rapper ever.
That's a tough one, man.
My brother.
I appreciate that. That's a tough one, man.
My brother, man. To me, brother, you are the you spitting, bro. Doo Wop, what happened? Like, what made you go that route? Like you said, you always thought out the box.
So, I mean, if you want to start at the beginning, we can start at the beginning.
Yeah, let's start at the beginning.
9 years old, I started DJing. That's when I got turned on to hip hop. That's when I'm about to be 51 in end of this month. So I'm talking about 79 when Rap is a Light was on the radio and Cold Crush were making tapes, Fantastic Five, all my heroes, tapes that I was buying every week, getting, my allowance and spending my whole allowance on these tapes, on Cold Crush, Fantastic, Grandmaster Flash, all these, icons who, later became like peers. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like so blessed to like know these guys now. And it's just like, I came up listening to them. And for my 10th birthday, I think it was my 10th birthday, I asked my parents for, some DJ stuff. And they bought me a whole set, turntables, mixer, speakers, everything. So now I'm locked in. Now that's all I do. Besides school, that's all I do. So now you're talking about 1980, I'm all in, practicing, trying to get better every day. And then around 84 teen, I just lost total interest. Like I threw away some stuff. I gave away half of my shit and just wanted to run the streets. It was nothing going on. It was just a teenager, that my eyes opened to other things and start running the streets. And then around, I would say it had to be like the Rakim and Kaine years, which was 86, 88. That's when I was like, I got to get back, because I saw the one person that made me want to get back was Eric B, because Eric B made it look like so cool to be a DJ. And I knew how to DJ. So, god damn, this dude looks just as important as the rapper. Like that wasn't a thing before. Before it was the guy was in the back with his head down, DJing, and the rapper was a star, and everybody wanted to see the rapper. But when Eric B came out, he was just as fly as Rakim, just as important. His aura was crazy. So boom, that drew me back in. Now I had to get my own shit, of course. Now I'm a little older. And 89, see, we went from 79, 89. 89 is when I heard the Kid Capri tape. I heard the Brucey B tape. I started hearing them coming out of cars.
Brucey
Mind you,
B.
that same attraction to the Eric B aura drew me to that too, because now I'm like, you could just do it yourself. Like you could do it in your crib and, you know, put out a tape and the world will play it. It ain't that easy, but I see that it was possible. So I just took a shot at that. But I seen that it's kind of hard to compete with these guys that's already damn near, you know, they on their way to legendary status. And I'm like, how you gonna stand out? So I figured try to get on the mic. Instead of just talking on the mic, try to like spit a verse in the beginning. So of course, I can't even remember what I spit in the beginning, but I know that shit was probably horrible, dog. It was like 1990. So, but it, you know, I kept at it. And by like 93, I think I had it down pat where it was kind of easy for me to write. It was easy to flow. It was, you know what I mean? I had the confidence to do it. So that's all it was really, because when you think about it, I don't know how old you are, shit, but back then it was Ron G, SNS, not even Clue yet. This is 92 to 95.
DJ
Ron
Ray
G,
Double R.
Triple C, Double R, G-Bo, you know, but nobody was rapping. Everybody had a different, not gimmick, a niche, you know what I mean? Their own lane. Ron G was doing all the blends.
Yes.
SNS had all the exclusives. Everything that ever came out, he would get it first. So that was my thing. My thing was to rap also, because I was never a turntablist type of guy. I never did that. You never hear me like do tricks and all that. Nothing against it, but I just never got into that. I was more into being a party DJ and, you know, stuff like that. So I'm like, what can I do? And that's how the rapping came, you know what I mean, came along.
Man, Doo Wop. When we heard you on it, we was like, man, Doo Wop is spitting, boy. So during that time right there, right, when you decided to do that, record labels were reaching out to you?
Yeah, 93, I put out a record on my own, which was, it was a guy on my block that I grew up with named Dominic. And he had, you know, he was doing this thing. So he had some bread and he like, let's make a record. So there was a guy called Danny Dan the Beat Man who people don't know him by that name, but he's the actual guy who sold Biz Markie the You Got What I Need, that song, the beat.
Okay.
He sold him that. He's done a lot of things, but he's always in the background. So he was a friend of ours too. So he did this beat for me and I rapped on it. We did a B-side. We pressed up 2,000 copies. Back then, that was a thing, like just press up 2,000 copies. I don't know why, but that was just a thing. And you sell them out your trunk. So we run around selling the record and it got the attention of Virgin Records. Mind you, right now, I'm also putting out tapes and I have the Bounce Squad, which was a crew that I put together of rappers, right? And we all rap on the tape in the beginning and we do these creative intros and skits and all kinds of shit. And we killing the game in the streets. But at the same time, I put this record out by myself. So Virgin Records was interested in signing me. The contract was, all it needed was my signature, right? We was about to do it. It was like a $185,000 contract. I don't get that money, but I get like $25,000 and the rest is for the album. It was gonna be a Doo Wop album. But then the A&R of the label caught wind of the Bounce Squad. And at the time, I'm 23, I'm still real young when it comes to like the business. Later on, I realized he was taking advantage. He was like, yo, let's sign your crew to the same deal. And I agreed to it. I didn't have to do that. I could have been like, no, give them a deal too. You understand what I'm saying? Because they wanted to sign my crew. but I let everybody sign to the deal. So we're about to make this album. Their vision is to send us to the West Coast for a whole year and have us work with West Coast producers, N.O. Joe and some other guys. And I'm like, nah, like all of us are like, nah, we can't do that. Because you guys heard of us because of what we do in the streets out here.
Exactly.
Well, not here, but in New York. How we gonna, we stay in tune with the streets. We got to stay here. We'll record here. We want to record with Premier. We want to record with Pete Rock. What are you doing? They try to I don't know what they were doing. They had a vision. I don't know if it were to work, but we asked off of the label. We was like, nah, we out. So we never did the album. So what happened was they kept one of my artists. One of my artists went behind my back and agreed to stay with them because he wanted the whole deal for himself. Now, this guy was like our Method Man, right? Like if we were Wu-Tang, he was Method Man. So I felt like now we can't rock with this guy. So now when we go back to do these tapes, people are going to be like, where's he at? Where's he at? I don't want to name him, but anyway, people who know the Bounce Squad would know who I'm talking about. He was, the star of the Bounce Squad. And it was like, what the hell I'm going to do? And that's how 95 Live came about, because that was 93, 94. 95 Live just made people forget about the Bounce Squad, because I needed that. I needed people to not bother me about where's this person at and what's going on and it's turmoil. Here goes the downfall, Nah, I had to. So that's when I got, KRS-One, Keith Murray, Redman. It wasn't easy, but I got it. And that's a whole story to itself, the way that came about.
Wow, still to this day, that mixtape is a classic, man.
That was the first one of its kind. That was like a 22 and a half minute intro. The first time known rappers ever rapped on a tape. Never before that, ever, like known rappers, Mind you, Raekwon was on that tape and Cuban Links just came out. Keith Murray was on that tape, and Most Beautiful. These guys were super busy at the time. Super feeling themselves, and they still wanted to be on the tape, because I found out later, by meeting them, and it's like they wanted to spit on a tape because they felt like they could do things on a mixtape that they can't do, at their label, on a record, because they get censored and whatever. So it was crazy, man. The way it came about was crazy. It was hard work, but it was well worth it.
Wow, and the way you put that out there like that, man, that was very creative, man. That was very creative.
And it was a tape without a playlist. It was a tape, the original that came out, no playlist. So you never knew what you were gonna hear.
You never knew what you were gonna hear. Yeah. It just said DJ Doo Wop on it.
Yeah.
95 Live.
Tape, yeah.
Yeah. Wow, brother. That's amazing, man. And then so how did you and Tony Touch get together?
Well, so 95 Live, your questions is ill. They bounce right in sequence. 95 Live was the first of its kind, like I said, and I made a part 2. So 95 Live 1, I had Keith Murray, Q-Tip. Hold up. Keith Murray, Q-Tip, Busta Rhymes, Rampage from the Flip Mode, Fat Joe, M.O.P., Guru, Ill and Out, Scratch. Part 2, I had Mobb Deep, Tretch, KRS-One, Lost Boys, Smith & Wesson, Channel Live, Buckshot, and King Just, right?
Yeah.
Bunch of hot MCs, the who's who, right? Of the hip hop at that time. But then Tony Touch, of course, I knew who he was, but we never met at the time. In 96, he came out with 50 MCs. I think it was 50 MCs. Yeah, 50 MCs. So it patterned itself after my tape.
Yeah.
So when I made a tape called 96 Summer Jam after his, I kind of took a shot at him, but subliminal. Like some people would know, but he would definitely know. He didn't like it. So he made a tape and he answered me. But again, it was subliminal. He didn't say Doo Wop or nothing. It wasn't like super disrespectful from both of us.
It was friendly fire, man.
Friendly, but we still didn't know each other at the time. So we had a mutual friend named Ray Roll, rest in peace, just passed away last year. Very like tight with Tony, and I was cool with him because he was from the Bronx. He caught the wind of that, and he was like, yo, y'all not gonna do this, y'all not gonna do this. Now, this is like 97. Y'all not gonna do this back and forth. Nah. Wow, come down to D&D studio tonight at 8 o'clock. I get down there, Tony's there, we sit and we talk, and it was done. Rap, because we both respected each other, and we're like, yeah, this shit corny. Let's do something together. Right then and there, we came up with the Diaz brothers, because that was a time when everybody was, you know, grabbing mafioso, you know, labels and the characters from movies, you know, the Scarface and all that. So he's like, yo, nobody never used that. All right, let's use that. We used it. Then we start thinking about what was hot at the time. Phone Tap was out. We grabbed the instrumental Phone Tap. This is all the same night we met, bro. We wrote it right there and we reenacted Phone Tap. By 3:30 in the morning, we left the studio. It was a done deal. Now, the mixtape wasn't done, but the intro was done, which is the meat of the tape. You feel me? So that's how that came about. And then from there, we've been best friends ever since.
Man. That connection that you guys had. Oh man. And the video was crazy for that joint too.
That was all him. He did that beat too.
Wow, that's amazing, man. That's amazing. So after you did that make you want to like focus more on the rapping, or you still kept it like where you still wanted to DJ? Was there a time that you felt like you wanted to rap more than DJing?
DJing was paying the bills always for me, because I mean I would be, you know, every week in the club, flying out of town. Like me and Tony went to Japan. I've been to, you know, over 50 countries, and you know that pays the bills. But the MCing is of course something that I like to do, and I still wanted to make a rap album, right? So, but I didn't shop nothing. I got approached in 98 by Sylvia Rome from Elektra, somebody from Atlantic, and Universal Records. I locked the deal in with Universal Records. Again, that album that didn't come out. Like I got a crazy budget. I was in the studio. I was at D&D's every day from 12 noon to 12 midnight, knocking stuff out. I had guests. I had Coogee Rap and Cannabis and MOP on one song. I had all this. And then all of a sudden, they call me one day and say, yo, Universal just changed hands up top, and they're like dropping mad artists, but we gonna give y'all $10,000 a piece, like as a parting gift. There's nothing I could do about that. But I'd be like, yo, I don't want the 10,000. I want my music, right? I want the music I was recording, because those songs are dope, whether y'all know they dope or not. And it was like, oh, the music though? Nah, let's just take the money. We probably could give you a little more. I'm like, nah, I want the music. So I finally got the music from them. And then the music I sold it to Land Speed, which it's out there, but it's, you know, it was on a label that had no backing.
Land Speed,
so, yeah. I mean, it was good people. They had a lot of underground stuff. They did pretty well. They got their money back, but you know, it's called The State versus Doo Wop. So it's like a song with AZ, a song with Cameron and Beanie Siegel, the Coogee Rap, MOP Cannabis, you know, I think Cormega, you know, like shit like that. It was pretty dope, but it wasn't what I wanted. I wanted to be on that big stage, a Universal Records type, you know. That's what I wanted to do. So I mean, I'm even now I write, so I'm still rapping, but an album, it's kind of tough if you ain't got that major push. You know what I mean? Like you would appreciate it, and I know people that would appreciate it if I just put it out. But you know, there's things out there. Like I put a mixtape out called The Versification, just like the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. It was called The Versification of Doo Wop, and it's all the stuff like that I spit on. And it's just, you know, the cover's done very similar to Lauryn Hill's, and it's out there. You know what I mean? It's on the flash drive that you got.
Oh man, I cannot wait for that flash drive. Let the people know too, Doo Wop, about that flash drive you got, man.
So in 2011, I was thinking, because I always get emails and shit asking, can I get 95 Live? Can I get this? Can I get that? And you know, we don't have those tapes and cassettes, and if we did, who's gonna play a tape? Some people ain't even gonna play CDs, like, you know. So I'm like, the digital, let me convert everything. It took a minute, but once I did it, it made sense. And it, you know, it was a lot of tedious work, but I remastered. I made about, up to 2011, I had already made about 60 mixtapes in my whole career. So I remastered everything and put it onto the flash drive, and I started selling it. And it's available right now. You know what I mean? It's still been available since, it's been 9 years since I've been selling this joint. And now everybody caught on. Ted Smooth does it. Ron G got it. Tony Touch. So it's pretty, it's like, you know, no matter what, even in the digital era, we keep pioneering and innovating. You know what I mean? Like, we keep doing those things. You got to keep
to, man. That's
you got to adapt to the times, and you still got to try to create something that pushes the culture forward, because now almost all the DJs have the flash drive with all their mixes on it.
And the most amazing thing is, you want to listen to DJ Doo Wop, man, you take that USB, you put it right in your car, and you good to go, man.
And some people that don't have, some people ask me, they'd be like, yo, I don't have the USB slot in my car. And I'm like, well, you could transfer to your phone, to your computer, put it in your computer, plug your phone in, or you could burn CDs from it, because I have everything separate. So each folder is a different mixtape and it's titled.
Damn.
So
that is tedious, man. But let me tell you, that's a legend's work on that USB.
It's my life on there, brother.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been talking about it. I'm like, listen, man, I've been telling everybody, yo, you got to grab that DJ Doo Wop joint.
There's a story behind every single mixtape.
Because you ain't getting it from me. That's for damn sure. Yeah, man. So how do you feel, Doo Wop? How you feel? Be honest. Are you happy with your career, with everything, the way it went? Was it supposed to go that way? Did you see it that way?
It's nothing I would do different. It's just, rewind that. Little things that I could remember that I might have slacked off on that was totally on me. So you know, certain things when you have these opportunities, you know, like when you scorching hot and some opportunities come in, for some reason, sometimes you think, I have some other opportunities later. You understand? Now, like I said, I'm still fortunate enough to be able to DJ for a living. Even now, even during the pandemic, we do parties from just like this on Zoom.
Beautiful.
And we'll get paid what we get paid for a party, you know. So we still make a living off of it. We create a brand. I was able to create a brand by doing, you know, taking all the steps that I needed to during my career to try to stay relevant. So that's cool. But there's certain things like, you know, little things like this is a funny story, but this is like, oh my God, my bank account would have been so crazy right now. The nigga Puff, well, it wasn't, my manager called me, it was around 98, and she said, what I heard her say was Tuffy. Now, Tuffy used to be a guy that was on Video Music Box, a host, good guy, great guy, but
yes,
he was just, you know, just regular dude. And he would do like this hosting this video show. And she was like, Tuffy wants you to come to the studio tonight to help him with a Spanish verse. And I said, Jessica, I told him, that was her name, my manager. I said, Jessica, I barely even speak Spanish. I understand it, but I can't speak it. I'm not going. Like, that's right now, mind you, 98, I'm like, pop it.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I'm not doing that, yo. Get out of here.
Get out of here with that.
She was like, what? I was like, I'm not doing it. All right, it's over. So later, No Way Out comes out. Puff Daddy. Senorita comes out, written by Fat Joe. It was Puffy that was asking me to come to the studio, not Tuffy. Bro, you know how much copies that album sold? Why you think Joe got a freaking mansion right there? Yo, niggas is still getting paid from that album. Those are the things. Those are the things that I'd rather, you know, those things like that. Now, everything else, when I came out, how I came out, the things I did, or the tapes I put out, nah, everything's good because, like I said, I'm blessed enough to still be able to make a living out of it. You know, the last 9 to 5 I had was in 1991.
Wow, that's a blessing, man.
Last 9 to 5 I had. So that's cool, but that right there, shit. I always think about that, bro. Like, what the fuck?
And I see you got the merch too, Doo Wop.
Yeah, you gotta have that. I learned
merch
that
is nice, man. That merch is very nice, man. Very
I learned
nice.
that from Guru, you know, from being on tour with Guru, 2004 to when he passed away.
Give us a story. Give us a story about Guru.
He was really big on merch, like the point where we would be going overseas and he'll have 3 big bags, 1 real big bag, 2 other big bags, and they'll tell him at the airport, you can't bring all these, you know, weight limit and all this shit. Yo, he'll leave half of his clothes just to bring his merch with him.
Wow.
Because the merch they gonna eat that up as soon as he get off the plane. They're gonna eat that up. You know, he was just a cool dude, man. He was a great dude, very humble, a friend, not just an industry friend. He was a real friend. But the merch, you know, that's how that came about. Like I learned it from watching him. You know, after the show, he would sit at the table himself. He didn't have to. There were people there that could do it for him, but he sat there because he knew that the people would want to get it from him personally. People hit me on DM, you know, just like you did, and you know, sometimes you didn't say this, but some people ask me like, you know, they ask, are they speaking to me? They think people have other people controlling it. Like I feel like watching Raekwon and Guru and all these guys, how they deal one-on-one with people, that's how I learned that that's the way it should be done. People appreciate you more and you know, they could, you know, see you and touch you type shit. You know what I mean? So that's like, that's what I learned from him. And yeah, that merch
and then getting it from you personally.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like people be like, oh man, you know, oh yeah, just get it from the website. Nah, DM me if you want to order. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's amazing to get it from you and everything. It's like it's insane. And then watching you from when you started till I'm 43, so I'm not that, you know, but just seeing you and I would always say to my cousin, right, Danny, I know he's gonna be watching this. We used to buy your mixtape. We used to buy a mixtape each, right? And he'll start listening from the B side, and I'll start listening from the A side. And one day I'm looking at him and I'm like, wow, one day we're going to have all our music in our pocket. Watch. And how about that, brother?
Wow, that's crazy.
How about
that's
that?
Crazy.
You know,
why would he hear the B side of you? Why did y'all do that?
It was just something we did. We used to do it with Silver Surfer mixtapes. We used to do it with DJ R, Brucey B's. You know, we used to, you know, it was cool. It was a cool thing, man, that you did, you know. Right. But it was funny because, you know, I'll be like, yo, you got to listen to the A side now, man. And say, now I'll flip it. And then he'll flip it on his Walkman. And that's how we did it. That's amazing, man.
Right.
But brother, man, we appreciate you so much, man. You did a lot for hip hop, and you're a staple, and you always will be a staple. And I think that you had a lot to do with bringing people out, whether those artists believe it or not. You put them on, man. You made that you made songs sound better than what they were, man. That's a DJ.
That's what's up.
That's a DJ.
That's what we always, you know, that was a big something I concentrate on when I make a tape. I write down all the songs I'm playing before I make the tape. And then after I make it, before I do the shout outs, I always put like, you know, this is a key part right here. You got to talk. You know, I got to talk on this part. I'm not going to sit here and lie. Like I didn't sit there and wing it. Like,
no, you definitely could tell that you took your time with it.
There was a lot of thought that went into it. Like Street Dreams by Nas, like I was the first one to have that. And I'm like, when Sony gave it to me, they were giving everybody else I Rule the World, right? I Rule the World came out first by Nas.
Yeah.
Street Dreams was the B-side, but they didn't give it to nobody. You couldn't get it online and all that shit back then. This is 96. They said, we're going to give it to you and only you for like 2 weeks. Then we're going to give it to everybody else. Now, you know, that night I had to make a tape. Like, I'm like, oh shit. And you know, Street Dreams got that part where the beat cut off, everything cut off. My man put me up on the square, you know, like, I'm like, yo, I got to talk right there. Like, you know, it's like, you got to, I'm like, oh yeah, let's do this. You know what I mean?
You got to get in where you fit in, man.
Right. So I'm like, shit, man, you got to make every record sound like something even better than what it already is.
Wow. So Doo Wop, tell me, man, from you seen it all, man, because you was there. So how do you see things now with the industry, with the music, you know, with the music industry, the record labels, and the way people have platforms now with the social media? What's your take on that from you seeing all that change right before your eyes?
Well, I tell you like this, the record labels to me don't exist no more. And the reason I say that is because, you know, going back to our day, no problem with the way it is now. That's what it is. But our day was, we had direct relationships with the record labels directly because we were the internet. Nobody else. If somebody had a rap beef, you wouldn't know about it until it was on a mixtape. Now it's on social media. The rappers actually beefing with the other rapper and they're actually tagging each other. So that's what it is. So we were social media. When social media came in, you know, it doesn't really matter because all of us that were making tapes back then ain't really making tapes like that no more. But there's no room for like even new mixtape DJs. Like you don't even know I don't even know any new mixtape DJs. And I know there's a million of them out there trying to do what they're doing. If you go to, you know, that Piff and all these sites, they're probably up there, but they're not standing out because social media has overtaken or overtook or whatever you want to call it. The platform of this is the new record. Twitter already puts it up. Oh, new record by such and such. So new music, beefs, all that shit is just, you know, so that's kind of whack to me. But there's nothing you could do about it because as time goes on, everything gets more advanced. Who knows what it's going to be in 10 years with this shit. But it's different. I don't hate it, but it is what it is.
And then just think about it too. Those beefs that were on those tapes, still to this day, we like, yo, remember that, man? With that, they can't do that now because it lands flat in 2 hours.
Prodigy's beef with Jay-Z started from a verse he did on my tape in 2001. He rapped off a Hail Mary. He went at Jay-Z. And like when I dropped the tape, when I released it to the street, a day later, this guy from Rockefeller called me and said, yo, bring us that tape. And I felt funny about it because I'm like, I know what it's, you know, he going at Jay. And he was like, no, we just want to hear it. We already know Prodigy went at us. We just want to hear it. So I brought it. I dropped it off. A little bit after that, Jay-Z did Takeover. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of beefs go back to mixtapes where, you know, Beanie and Jada Kiss, I guess that was a Clue and Envy thing. You know, they kind of sparked that. They didn't spark it, but it was the
they fed it.
It was the ring. It was the boxing ring for it. It was the platform for it. You know, we were platforms for rap beefs and for exclusives and for all kinds of shit.
Wow, man. DJ Doo Wop, man. I'm looking at you. I'm like, wow, I can't believe I got this guy in front of me right now.
That's what's up, bro.
My brother, man, I appreciate you so much personally, man. You're my favorite DJ, man. Tony Touch, I love you too, man. But man, Doo Wop, the verse, man. I always say, yo, that's the hottest DJ rapping, bro. Word up.
That's what's up.
So we appreciate
live too. Me and Tony going live December.
I saw that.
Yeah, every year I do my birthday party in New York at his spot, which is Tokai Tuesday. But obviously, niggas ain't doing clubs right now, so he's doing live on his IG from some rooftop in New York. So I'm gonna go to New York December. It's always on a Tuesday, so it's the first Tuesday in December. I think it's December 1st.
Okay.
So we're gonna be on live. Every time me and him rock together, we rhyme, we do all that. Like it's a little different.
Oh man, I love that stuff. I'll definitely be watching, man. So yeah, man. Well, let people know where they could check you out on IG and everything. I'm gonna tag everything when I put the podcast out.
IG DJ Doo Wop, DJ DOOWOP. So you can email me with any requests for anything. DJ Doo Wop at Gmail. Twitter the same thing. Facebook the same thing. DJ Doo Wop.
There you go, man. And make sure y'all get that USB. Amazing. I got mine. Get yours. Don't be asking me for copies and that because you ain't gonna get it. All right, that's what I'm talking about. But yo, my brother, this is Let's Chop It Up with Zaz, and this is the legendary Doo Wop, man.
All right, Zaz.
Peace.
Peace out, brother.
Stay right there, brother. Don't go.
Right,
stay right
cool.
there.
Cool.
Shots on the quarter, shots on the block. Either you was dodging bullets or dodging the cops. I kill shit, these niggas know how I'm on it. I came home and went on the run on the cop like I had a warrant. My performance enormous, you niggas corny and boring. Sauce in my cup, I be saucy, loud got me high like I'm soaring. I'm on my shit times 10, they could never ignore. It's spoke. Layer shit. Me and Spo joke with each other, but with y'all it ain't no playing shit. I ain't saying shit, we lock down blocks. Y'all niggas lock down thoughts. My boys keep toolies round. Should've knocked down the ox. No exaggeration. To fuck with us, you need verification. Background checking all. We don't do the fake shit. I need a plain Jane.
Blocking, not an option. Damn. It's the mixtape, Godfather still popping. I'm your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. When you put it in perspective, even though I scratch records, I'm the best, kid.
Lights, camera, action, that's my satisfaction. Gaining traction, Doo Wop got attraction. Now we flashing fades, gazelle shades, matte colors like them kids at the raves. We on route, the double team they speak about. Dress nice, get right, show up for the right price. Clubs to be precise, I'm on it, don't think about it twice. And here for the grime, ain't that type of time. Here for the shine, head up on the right, pay the bills, catch a flight, disappear like a thief in the night. You know that ain't right. I get hype off the settings, comfortable like the betting. So who's